Yes. So welcome to our Joyful Movement presentation that we have today. I'm Allison Hack. I am the Complementary Medicine Coordinator at Group Health Cooperative, and I help with kind of organization of our different appointments that we have. So we have individual appointments. We also do group classes. And I wanted to introduce you today to Miranda Merkes. She's one of our massage therapists. She's worked at Group Health for the last 14 years now, just about 15. And she does individual massage appointments, but she really has a passion for helping people, finding what's true to them and finding what works best to really help promote a healthy wellness body, really helping calm yourself, dealing with traumatic events, grief issues, all different kinds of things. But she really looks at a wide array of different topics and techniques that try and help people learn about themselves so they can have tools themselves to use to continue to help themselves at home. So it's not like everybody has to come in and see her one-on-one, but really her passion is really finding these different tools and techniques to help people out and just have fun with life and being well. So that's really what she's all about. So we're happy that you're here to join us today, and I am going to introduce her, and we're going to let her take it away and enjoy our program today. Thanks for being here. And thank you to Monona Terrace for hosting us. We really appreciate it. And thank you. We'll be on at the end to answer some questions. So feel free to definitely put any questions in the notes as we come along, and Miranda will be able to answer those at the end of the session as well. So thanks a lot, and here we go.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon, I could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy I'm alone. If you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy I'm alone. If you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy I'm alone. If you know what happiness is to you.
All right. Thank you for humoring me for a little bit while I show you a little example of what joyful movement can look like. Let me catch my breath. And please don't be intimidated. I know I'm really good, but trust me, anybody can do this. And hopefully after today you'll feel more comfortable trying new things out and exploring what makes you happy, what gives you joy. So, I am Miranda, and I am a strong, independent, capable woman. And if you ask my husband, I am also very stubborn, very stubborn. And I realized over the past, probably 3 years that I'm a little too attached to that identity. I seem to find opportunities to prove it to myself and the world that I am strong and independent and capable. Don't really like to ask for help. It's just not my thing, right? Because I'm strong and independent. Well, an example would be when I do my big grocery haul, talking like 2 weeks plus worth, right? Maybe a month worth. Getting it all done in one haul. Get home, it's time to bring the groceries in. Do I ask for help bringing them in? No, of course not. And not only that, I'm going to take them in one trip. I will load both of my arms with every single bag. I will have a 12-pack of sparkling water in each hand. And I will, by God, take this in one trip, because I was strong, independent, capable woman, and hard. And of course, by the time I get in, drop all the groceries everywhere, my shoulders are burning. I need an ice pack for my low back. And of course, now I have a sprained finger. I probably would have just continued moving through life like this, just finding different ways to prove to myself until my body said no. And it went on strike. And it got me where it really hurts. Couldn't even work. Love my job. My career is everything to me. So it taught me a very valuable lesson that I need to find a new way to move through life. And that's where I found joyful movement. Joyful movement helped me break through these limiting belief systems I had about myself. It removed barriers that I had with exercise, and it was a big helper on my road to recovery and healing. So what is joyful movement? Well, joyful movement's a walk in the park, and it's boot camp class. It is swimming laps in a pool and playing mermaids. It is Tai Chi, and it is Kung Fu fighting. It is training for a really intense race, and it is never training and just doing great spontaneous dance. So really, in its simplest form, joyful movement is the intention to move and enjoy it. So moving in a way that sparks joy for you, that makes you happy, that feels good. But really at its foundation, the real meat of it is a body awareness practice. The first thing you do with joyful movement is go into your body, see what you're feeling, and pick a movement that best suits you for that moment in your time. It could be listening to your body's physical needs and capabilities, listening to your emotional and mental health needs, and adjusting and adapting to make sure that it's honoring your body. Joyful movement meets you where you are in this moment. Where are you guys? Not geographically, not talking about sitting at a desk, obviously in front of your computer. Where are you right now? Where's your body awareness? Are you really deep inside your body, paying attention to all of its needs, listening to what it's trying to tell you? Maybe you're sort of living up in here, shoulders up, kind of notice this area, but anything below here is just completely left on notice. Or maybe getting ready for the morning, wrangling the kids, traffic, dealing with work deadlines. At some point today, maybe you left your body. Maybe you're just hovering over here, not even aware of the tension in your shoulders or that pain in your foot. So we're going to fix that right now. We are going to do a body awareness, joyful movement technique. I promise you it is easy and gentle. I'm not going to make you do anything crazy. And we will have Allison in the background to also show how it can look different for different people, because joyful movement meets you where you are and honors your body's current needs. So what we'll do is simple body scan starting from head to toe, spending just a moment in each area, listening to what it wants, and then moving in a way that makes it happy, makes that area of the body happy. So if you're willing, if you're able, stand up. You can do this with your eyes open. You can do this with your eyes closed, whatever feels right. Deep breath in, and just a slow, long exhale. We're going to start with the head, just noticing, listening to the face, some tension in the ears. What would it like? Maybe the jaw is tight. Maybe yours need a little love. Maybe your scalp needs a little love. Just being here and doing what it likes. Moving down into the neck. Have you moved it, stretched it lately? Does it want to be moved or stretched? Maybe it needs a little shake out. Go into your shoulders and chest. Notice any tension. Notice what it would like you to do. Just move in whatever way it feels best, that honors that area. Going into the arms and hands. Moving in any way that suits your needs. Wrists, fingers. When's the last time you stretched those forearms? How about moving into your torso? Can you feel your torso? Can you bring your awareness into this area? Sometimes it helps to just put a hand there. Be able to feel that area, feel into it, and into the hips. How it wants you to move and do it. Easy, right? It's just listening for the first time in maybe a long time, hearing what your body wants and doing it because you love it. How about the thighs? You need a stretch or a shake maybe. Calves and ankles, and feet, lots of stretching, lots of cracking over here. I don't know about you. All right, now whole body. What does your body want to do? If you could do anything right now, just do it. Whoa. Feels great, doesn't it? Hopefully you all feel a little bit better. I feel better. So a little more inside of your body, a little more connected, grounded. It's a really easy, joyful movement practice that you can start with. If listening to your body is foreign to you, or body awareness isn't something that you have practiced in the past, this is a really great way to get you back into that groove. Start to feel all the little nuances. And obviously when you're doing this at home, you can take your time. You can be as slow or as quick as you need to be and do this as many times as you need to. You can always come back to your body. Your body is always open and ready to receive you. So hopefully that felt great. Please keep honoring your body throughout this. This is your time. I appreciate you guys so much for being here, but this is your time. So if it feels right to settle in for a little bit now and just kick back, relax and listen, do that. If you need to stand up, if you need to be swaying or moving, whatever honors you, continue to do that. Don't be like me and ignore your body's needs and wants. It's really easy for us to do that though, isn't it? We're really not taught a lot of self-care early on. The messages that we have received throughout our entire lives are that of how to be the good mother. Sorry about that. Sorry, how to be a good mother, father, how to be a good parent, how to be a good employee or friend. And we're taught that there's all these things we should be doing, giving 110%. It's honorable to put other people first. And it is, you know, when you're feeling okay to do it. We're taught to work those few hours, extra hours, take on another shift, help the team out. You know, on our obituaries, it doesn't say, oh, they were such a selfish person. You know, it says they were such a wonderful person. They gave to all they ever came in contact with. They would give the shirt off their back for anybody, you know, but yeah, now they're dead. So a lot of good that helped them. No. And on the flip side, what are the messages we get about rest? That we're lazy. What messages do we get about self-care and putting our own needs first? That we're selfish. So joyful movement, the foundation is body awareness. The only rule is to honor your body's needs in this moment, mentally, physically, emotionally. These little steps of moving through life, practicing, maybe choosing a movement that best fits your needs or adapting a movement to better fit your needs, they slowly grow. Those small habits become your new belief systems. So by the time you're pro at this and you're asked to take on an extra shift or two, you say, no, I can't do that. I need rest, and that's okay. Sometimes rest is what we need. How do we decide when to rest and when to push ourselves? If it's something that we haven't done in a long time, accept and be okay with rest, it can be really challenging. I would say do the 5-minute rule, right? Because let's face it, pushing yourself sometimes is really important and it feels really good, right? Sometimes when you plan to go to the gym after work and you're not really looking forward to it anymore, but you get there, you do your exercise, you feel you're amazing. You're like, oh, I'm so happy I ended up doing that. But then there's times where you need rest. So 5-minute rule, really easy. Go to the gym, do what you were planning on doing. In 5 minutes, if it doesn't feel good, if you're cranky, maybe you're miserable, stop. Maybe just change a different movement. Maybe instead of doing that running, you decide to slow it down, honor the tension in your knees and lower back, and slow to a walk. And if adapting and changing still isn't working for you, stop, go home, rest. If you are just miserable, that is your body telling you you need rest. So, who does like exercise? Raise your hand. Anybody just really, really love exercise? It comes easy to you. You always feel good when you do it. For those of you who have your hands up, how? I need some of that. That's great. You are practicing joyful movement. Joyful movement is exercise if that makes you happy, if that brings you joy. So congratulations, keep it up, keep practicing joyful movement. Now, if you're like some of us, exercise kind of comes with some barriers. Exercise doesn't always make us feel the best. Maybe our relationship with it isn't on good terms. For reasons like the morality of it all. There's this sense of to be good me, I exercise regularly. That we should do it or we have to do it. It's just another heavy should, another thing on my list to do, another thing maybe I'm not doing. So now we have negative self-talk. I know I'm terrible. I haven't exercised in weeks. I know I'm bad. I know, just not a great feeling. Or we tie exercise with a very specific goal of changing the shape of our bodies. We have this message thrown at us from the second we have eyes and ears that we should be a certain size and shape. So we use exercise to lose weight, gain muscle, to change ourselves in some way. We tie this goal to it. So when we don't reach that goal, when we're not losing weight, when we're plateauing, again, we feel bad about ourselves, more bad feelings, and we stop. Maybe we use exercise as a punishment. Yesterday, I had a huge bowl of pasta for dinner, and then I also had cookies. So now today, I'm gonna have to go extra hard at the gym. I'm gonna have to do 2 workouts. We're punishing ourselves. Again, when we don't feel good about it, we're not going to wanna do it. It leaves us feeling bad. The other thing that we can do with exercise is box ourselves in. We sort of stereotype what it should look like, what it should be. It really limits what we see or our options. Things like intensity. How to burn 800 calories in 1 hour. I must sweat profusely. The more I sweat, no pain, no gain. We think that it needs to be at a gym. It needs to be in a class. It has to have weights or cardio, and it needs to be 30 minutes. It needs to be an hour. And I need to do this 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week. This is what I have to do. This is what it looks like. Well, what if you can't do that? Life happens. Joyful movement is boundless in what it can be. There are no time restrictions. There's no what it should look like, where it should be. It is as creative as you can be. The only rule is that you honor your body and you enjoy it. So you can't make it to the gym. Life happens. And now you need to get home now. You need to get dinner on the table before the kids can get their homework done and get to bed. That's okay. Joyful movement to the rescue, right? Instead, you go home, you cook the dinner, crank that music while you're cooking, and you stir the pot. Stir the pot. Shake a little salt, shake a little pepper. Mix it up. Mix it up, right? You can have fun, you can enjoy, and you can move. And that's what it's all about. Maybe it is only for that 10 minutes that you're cooking, and maybe you invite the kids in to join you, or a husband, or for me, my little buddy, my little pudding pop, my little Chihuahua dog. I love him. He doesn't like it when I dance with him, but I like it when I do. So it just meets you where you are, even in the kitchen, even in the middle of a body strike, like I went through. My body strike, it was a full-blown burnout. You might have heard that term kind of being a buzzword recently. And it's because a lot of people are feeling burnout. And it's not what you would think. I always thought people talking about burnout was, I'm just really exhausted. So burnout for me was extreme chronic pain and a really bad depression. And it kept me not only from doing the things I love, but I couldn't work. I had to take a couple months off of work just to heal. And it was really challenging. I knew because of my job that I needed to heal my autonomic nervous system. Any of you experiencing chronic stress? Maybe in the last 3, 5, 10 plus years, you have just been bombarded with nonstop stress. Normal stress is healthy and good. Stress moves us into a fight, flight, or freeze state. And then once the stress is over or the threat is gone, our autonomic nervous system moves us back into the rest, digest, and healing state. It's wonderful. Chronic stress, modern stress, unfortunately, usually doesn't ever have an end. There's never bills that stop. The bills are always coming. You're always going to have family issues. You're always going to have some stress in your life. And when we have chronic stress, we get stuck in a fight, flight, or freeze state. Being stuck in these states leads to physiological changes that cause dysfunction. Maybe it's chronic GI issues, chronic pain, headaches. Maybe you have a lower immune response. You're getting sick a lot more than you ever did. Maybe you're just not able to sleep anymore. These things will add up. But there are things we can do. We call them stress response enders that are researched and evidence-based things that can signal to our autonomic nervous system to move us back into that rest digest state. And you guessed it, the number one way to regulate your nervous system and to put you into the rest digest is movement. So joyful movement can start to heal your nervous system. It can start to have long-lasting effects where your body is able to heal and repair itself from things that it just didn't have the resources to before. When you have joyful movement, you also add on top, not just movement, joyful movement. So now you have an emotional response that is either positive or a release of a stuck emotion that you've been holding on to. So you're able to double up these stress response enders and really make some changes really fast for yourself. I have a couple favorite ones that really helped me when I was in the depths of that burnout. One was ecstatic dance. You might have heard of it, you might not have. Ecstatic dance is, think hippies at a festival. Very free flowing, not hearing what you're doing. You're not going with the beat if you don't want to go with the beat. It is very free form dance. The music is very specific. You can go on any music platform, Spotify, iTunes, and find playlists for ecstatic dance. The music is really important. It usually starts out very tribal, drumming, very low. It gets you into your body. It lets you come to that emotion, come to that place and confront it and be with it. A lot of times when I'm doing ecstatic dance, I had no idea I was holding on to a certain stress or an emotion and until it started to bubble up. As the music shifts, it does bring that emotion up. It lets you feel your feelings, things that you were repressing for a long time, shoving down into that bottle. And it evolves, and as it moves, all of a sudden you are releasing and letting that energy flow through you until it is out of your body. So it's not holding on to that emotion that you are ready to let go of. That stress that you no longer need to be shoving in. So I strongly recommend it, but I also know it's challenging for people to step outside of their box. It's different. So what I do is I lock my husband in his office and I tell him he is not allowed to come out under any circumstance until I open that door. And let me tell you, he's opened it once and he will never do that again. And I usually turn the lights really, really low. I'll put headphones on that are also noise canceling, and I close my eyes and I just let my body do what it's going to do. And sometimes I am left feeling lighter and happier. Sometimes I do have an emotional response, but it's out of me and it feels better, but always I'm grounded. I always feel better. So give it a try. The other exercise that really helped joyful movement that I would do is called, I call it shake it off. It is also a stress response ender. It's actually, for all mammals, a natural stress response processing. So you may have heard of the baby gazelle being chased by the cheetah. It feigns death. The cheetah is no longer interested in it. So now that the coast is clear, the fawn will get up, or the gazelle, I forget what I said, gets up, and it'll shake. It just shakes. Every single mammal does this. It's a part of processing out that stress. It is a stress response ender to get back in and move to the rest, digest, healing state. Now, for some reason, us adults think we know better and we stop ourselves from shaking. We hold our hands because we don't want to shake. We might be shaking our legs, but we try to hold it so nobody knows that we're in stress. It's okay to shake. And the wonderful thing is, okay, maybe you don't want to shake in front of these people. I get it. Well, I do get it, but wait and see what we're about to do. But the great thing is if you don't want to shake in the moment and you do need to suppress it, you can go home and you can manually shake. Your body doesn't know the difference, whether it is doing it automatically or whether you are starting that process. And it can look different for any reason, whether it's a capability issue or whether it's an emotional thing, you just don't have the energy to really shake it. It's a joyful movement exercise. It meets you where you are. So if you need to do it laying down, you do it laying down, and it's more of a jostle. If you need to do it sitting down, you do it sitting down. If it needs to be slow, it's slow. If it needs to be fast, it's fast. So what might it look like in a human that's doing it on their own? Well, think of athletes. You probably have seen it and just don't even think of it because it's so normal. You see the football players on the field, they're really getting it out. Maybe you see the swimmers right before meets, right before they get on that platform, they're just shaking it out. So it can be a very athletic shake. It can be a jostle, like I said. So when you're laying there, it might be sort of just jostling, slow, maybe up and down instead of back and forth. Just go into your body and feel what feels right. Maybe you need a whole body shake and you just need to get it all out. You need to hang your head and shake your head. Whatever feels right for you. So we are going to do this. So we're going to do this for about 2 minutes. And I'm going to have music playing, so hopefully that'll help kind of get you into your body and out of your head. And feel what feels right for you. Maybe take this moment as I get the music ready to just decide what kind of shaking would I like to try, and allow it to flow. Maybe you start with a little shake, you end with a big shake, or maybe you end with some ecstatic dance. We'll see. So take some time, get into your body, and we are going to shake it off together.
That's what people say. That's what people say. I go on too many dates, but I can't make them stay. At least that's what people say. That's what people say. But I keep cruising, can't stop, won't stop moving. It's like I got these music in my body, and it's gonna be alright.
feel hopefully a little bit more present in your body again. What I like to do afterwards is just be still for a moment. Just be feeling the vibrations, the little body buzz. Maybe you notice less tension in certain areas. Maybe you notice more tension. And maybe you feel like you're ready to do a little more shaking. Or maybe you're ready to try some ecstatic dance now when you get home. I just want to say thank you guys for being here. I really hope you enjoyed yourself, had some fun, got in your body. Hopefully you'll be a little bit more grounded coming back from lunch. And I hope Joyful Movement meets you where you are. And we're ready to take any questions if you guys want it, or if there's any book recommendations you have regarding storing stress in the body, or stress response enders, or anything about the autonomic nervous system. So let us know. And I'll have Missy kind of take it from here.
If you have any questions, just click on the Q&A icon on your screen and start typing in the text box that appears. And Miranda will answer your questions as they come in.
I don't know if I'll be able to see them, but if you see any. Yeah, I can give you some of the book recommendations in the meantime. So Burnout is a wonderful book by Amelia and Emily Nagarski. It's a black book that says burnout, burnout, burnout. It is evidence-based stress response enders. It's more geared for females. Well, it's geared for women. There's another book called Anchored by Dana. That's going to go a little bit more into the autonomic nervous system, the vagus nerve. There's a wonderful book that's a little bit heavy to read, a lot of terminology in there. So I find most people really enjoy the audio version. It's called When the Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. He's basically the godfather of trauma, where it's all the research showing that we store all of our stress, all of our trauma in our physical bodies. And that's why a bottom-up approach to healing, starting with the body, then going into the frontal cortex, can be so helpful for a lot of people as opposed to just cognitive behavioral therapy. Yeah.
Okay, we have our first question. Barbara wanted to know, would you please spell the type of dance you referred to? I can spell it if you want as you go.
Yes. It is ECSTATIC, ecstatic.
Okay. Heather says, thank you for your time. I have let's see, Lisa says, what amount of time seems most helpful for your physical, emotional state?
Well, that depends. What is your physical and emotional state in that moment? Maybe you only have the capacity for 2 minutes of jostling while you lay down. Then do 2 minutes. You could always, sort of like with the 5-minute rule, if after 5 minutes you don't feel like you're feeling better, you're not enjoying yourself, stop. So, maybe try 5 minutes of something and then go from there.
Okay. Millie says, no question, excellent session. Now I just need to develop a fun playlist.
Yes. It's great. Spotify, Apple, music. They're all really great. There's a lot of great playlists that are already curated for you. So that's usually where I start. And then from there, I'll like favorite certain songs and then create my own playlist.
Okay, Molly asks, is movement the only or best way to get ourselves out of the fight, flight, or freeze status?
It is one of the best, but it is not the only by any means. There are so many different what we call stress response enders. You could do things like vagus nerve exercises. I also teach like a polyvagal class that we do some of that stuff. Shake it off is, well, I guess that's a joyful movement. There are certain breath techniques that engage the vagal brake. So when I, in the very beginning, said take a breath in and a slow exhale out, the longer your exhale you can do, the better, because you're engaging the brake and that actually slows your heart rate down. So just like your autonomic nervous system is brain telling the body things, your body actually can send signals via the vagus nerve to the brain. So if you can slow your heart rate down manually, that sends a signal to the autonomic nervous system that you are safe and it can move you back into that rest digest.
Okay, Mary had a question. Could you repeat the title of the second book mentioned? I'm going to ask Miranda that you send those books and the authors to me, and then I will post that on the Monona Terrace Wellness Talks page right next to the video of this webinar, so that people can get that information from there, if that's okay.
Absolutely. The book was called Anchored, but I'll make sure to put it in the email.
Okay, that looks like it for questions.
All right. Thank you guys so much for having me. I had a blast. I hope you did too.
Oops, hold on. Let's see. We got one more question. Oh, great class.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for the wellness talk. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.